What's going on, Colts Nation? I appreciate you joining me for another video where in this one, we're going to talk a little bit about that tight end room, a little bit about that tight end situation, and specifically about what we should go do in the draft, something, at least a possibility of something that we should do in the draft. Of course, if you enjoy the content, make sure to hit the like button, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. And as we roll into this one, of course, as we're talking about, drafting a tight end, that comes with Tyler Warren. So that's going to be the topic of discussion here. The main topic of discussion is, hey, what should we do to get Tyler Warren? Because it just doesn't seem like there's going to be a situation where he drops to 14. If we stay at 14, what I did in my mock draft a couple days ago, it's what I think is going to happen, right? Tyler Warren goes before us, and so we end up with a linebacker pick, and again, that being G.I. Campbell from Alabama, somebody that I think is probably heavy on the Colts' radar at this point in terms of talent and in terms of team need. I think that's a good option for us in the first round, but with Tyler Warren likely not going to be there. Now, of course, if he drops to 14 and you happen to have Warren and Campbell both there, that's a tough decision. Both positions in need. Which one do you end up going with? I think both are going to, whichever team either of those guys are drafted to, I think those are guys that are going to be really good NFL players wherever they go. And so I think ultimately that would be a crazy decision. Ultimately, I still think the Colts would end up going Warren there and trying to help out the quarterback, adding more talent on the offensive side and being able to do everything that they want to do. He's somebody who can come in with the offensive line that we have, and being able to line up next to some of those guys, and also just being as big as he is, as physical as he is, right? Penn State, one of the more physical football teams in college football last year. Just I don't watch a whole lot of college football, but when I watched Penn State last year, I knew, like, over the past couple of years, honestly, like, they got some dogs. Right, that is a physical football team at Penn State, and Tyler Warren fits the bill for that, and he's a big part of that. A big body, but he's also athletic enough that you can put him in different situations. You can come out, have him on the end of the line next to a tackle, and then audible him out to be a slot guy, or the inside slot. And being in a different formation, different things, especially in Shane Steichen's offense. You think about Shane Steichen, the creativity that he has, the things that he tries to do, and where he can put a tight end like Tyler Warren with a big body. And Shane Steichen ultimately, and shout out to, not everybody's on Twitter. There's a really good follow on Twitter, though, at Colts Film Room on Twitter. And this was actually from a while ago, from February 18th, a post that he had talking about the argument for Warren and why you go get Tyler Warren, just being a receiving option. And the information in this post, again, shout out to this guy, whoever runs that account. But the Colts offense in 2023 was third in the league in the rate at which they played 11 personnel. If you look at 2024, they dropped to 10th in 11 personnel usage. So taking a step backward from that point, and the offense took a step backward. And I think that it ended up having to be like that because Jonathan Taylor was going nuts. So you want guys to help in the run game and have more bodies there in the run game. But you just wonder, like, did we have to have more guys blocking in the run game because we didn't have a versatile tight end that could do a little bit of everything, right? And you think a tight end that can do a little bit of everything, I mean, just like a George Kittle, like you never really know. When his hand's in the dirt, you're worried on the defensive side. You're worried about this guy coming and chipping you, or coming and double teaming you, or stopping the blitz coming off the edge, right, from a corner or from a safety. Like, those things you have to worry about with a good blocking tight end. So you're anticipating that might be the thing, but you're also on your heels a little bit because you don't know, is he gonna act like he's blocking and then he's going to cut out and hitting out, or cut out and boom, boom, and hit the inside, and kind of like Travis Kelce does a lot. I feel like that's a pretty common thing for a tight end, and I think Tyler Warren's a guy that can make that work on the next level and can be a guy that can be impactful in that ways. And again, being able to keep the offense in 11 personnel, which again is something Shane Steichen would like to do, just looking at the usage rates, right? Again, from 3rd to 10th from one year to the next. Now, something else that helps the Colts with is that if you add a guy like Tyler Warren, somebody that can do a little bit of everything, it makes us less predictable, right? I think even as Colts fans, like if you see the tight ends that are on the field, you have a good idea of what's coming, right? Kylan Granson's on the field. There's a good chance we're probably going to be passing the ball. And like if you saw Mo Alley Cox and Drew Ogletree on the field, we're almost always running the ball. So it's just with a guy like Tyler Warren that can do a little bit of everything, has that versatility, and can continue to develop as a blocker as he comes into the NFL, then I think that makes us less predictable, and it helps us be able to. It really, I mean, I guess this is a cliche phrase too, so I was trying not to say, but like it opens the playbook, right? Opens up the entire playbook to whatever you want to run. You have 11 personnel more. You have the same guys on the field more. Your best, the ones you feel the best about, your best 11. Those are the guys on the field more. You don't have to interchange different packages and then be more predictable doing so. So that's another advantage that comes with getting Tyler Warren. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, and I think this is a really good stat that Colts Film Room put here, but he said, beyond just being a blocker, this is a 23rd ranked offense in red zone scoring percentage in both 2024 and 2023. So bottom 10 in red zone scoring percentage. So at the end of the day, a guy like Tyler Warren, a big body like Tyler Warren, with his athleticism, with his ability to be able to go up and get good positioning and go up and attack the ball at its high point. Like Tyler Warren's a guy that's easily going to be able to help us in that way, especially for a guy like Andy Richardson, who again, we know his struggles in different aspects. And of course, with his development, you hope throughout this offseason being able to work with who he's working with, right? Same guys that worked with Josh Allen. I think he'll be able to hone some of that in, and he's going to learn how to put some touch on the ball and take a little bit of heat off the ball. And over time, will continue to get better. I do believe that. But I do think, over this first year of him really being able to go through that development process, I do think it's not going to be perfect. There's still going to be some hiccups from time to time. And I think a guy like Tyler Warren can mitigate some of that with his athleticism, his big body, his catch radius is ridiculous. And again, in the red zone, that will matter. So I think there are a lot of benefits to going and getting a guy like Tyler Warren. And again, shout out to @Colts Film Room on Twitter for some very useful information, something that I came across, and it's something we talked about a couple days ago in the mock draft video. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the Colts traded up for Tyler Warren, because Chris Ballard's in we got to win right now mode. Like, he's obviously changed his philosophy for free agency, went out and got some big name free agency, created competition at different positions. And now we're coming into this spot, and it's what's he going to do in the draft? Is he going to be who he's always been? Or is he going to continue to change, and he's going to be a different kind of GM as we go and try to find the next the next draft class is really going to help this team excel into the future. That's got to be the most important thing. And of course, again, he's basically GMing for this year. That's why I don't know if there's going to be a trade back, right, and trying to get anything for next year, because you got to go this year. So there's an argument to be had about going up and trading for Tyler Warren, right? Trading up for Tyler Warren. And I guess at that point is, how far up could you go? I've seen Tyler Warren mocked a lot to the Jets. I believe the Jets are at 8. And I mean, so if the Jets don't take him, I think that's where it gets interesting. Do you trade up and go get him? Because I think between if you go, 9, 10, 11, 12, and you're able, I think trading up one spot, pretty stupid. let it be what it is at that point. Like, what are you really going to give up extra assets for going up one pick? But I think if you can go up a couple picks without giving away too much of the draft, then because we have some other things that we need to take care of through this draft. So that's the argument against, is because we just need to be able to have other draft picks. But going up and getting Tyler Warren, like, what does that do for our team? Now we still have a hole at linebacker. What do you do there, right? If you get Tyler Warren, trade up for Tyler Warren instead of getting Campbell in the first round, that changes the outlook for that linebacker position. You don't have depth there. You got to go get it at some point in the draft. So what's going to happen from that aspect is going to be very interesting. And at the end of the day, would I want to trade up for Tyler Warren? Yeah, I think I would. When you look at the construction of the team, Zaire Franklin, and this is a big if, but if Zaire Franklin, Jalen Carlisle can just stay on the field, I think we're okay. I think the defense under Lou, we're going to be more aggressive on defense. We're going to be more multiple on defense. Gives me more hope, and I feel better about our defense not being predictable. I think that's going to be really good for the talent we have on defense, honestly, and I think it's going to be able to show through. So defensively, really, I do feel good about us. So if you wanted to trade up, to number 9 or 10 or 11 and go get Tyler Warren, because you think that's the move that's going to really help fill out this roster and really help whichever quarterback wins the competition, really going to help your offense be able to excel, is getting a guy like Tyler Warren. I do think that's the case. I do think a guy like Tyler Warren changes the outlook of what we're able to do on offense, how we're able to roll out week after week on offense, and the different threats that we're going to be on offense. And obviously having Jonathan Taylor, Khalil Herbert in the backfield, like, you add Tyler Warren to the mix. Again, I think him and Jihad Campbell, I think, are two guys that are, whichever team gets drafted or ends up drafting those guys, I think they're going to be really good. And those are the guys that I think, I feel like getting mocked to the Colts the most. Those are the two guys that I think are the most highly likely to end up getting drafted by the Colts in the first round, as long as they make it to 14, or if the Colts decide to make a move up again to go get Tyler Warren. And of course, I want to know what your guys' thoughts are. Would you trade up for Tyler Warren, and how far up would you trade up for Tyler Warren if that was a move that you were willing to make? And who do you think the Colts should draft in the first round, whether it's trade up, trade back, stay at 14? You let me know what you would do in that situation. Of course, I'd love to hear from you guys. So, and again, make sure if you enjoy the content, you hit that like button. Helps the channel a lot. And make sure you're subscribed with notifications on so you continue to get notified anytime we drop any content on the channel. Of course, appreciate you stopping by for another video. As always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.